Well, hello. Who's in here? Bummer. How's it going? I didn't mean to run this up so hey Nathan. I didn't mean to run this up so close to On Track Tuesday. I thought he had a hard cutoff at 7, so great to see Nathan in here. Wilmer, of course. I can wait if you there he is. Hey, how's it going? PDRR engineer and James. Now, PDRR, that your art, is that correct? Or am I way off? Ah, the brain works sometime. Drew should be in here. I've got my Batman mug. I have the cats have come to join me, so I don't know if they'll be trying to get in the video or not. So I was just going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes and see if anybody else shows up. I guess was everybody here over in uh, On Track Tuesday? I know Wilmer was. I think James was. I joined a little bit late. I didn't join till about 6:40. So I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm ready for the. Yeah, I know he did. He did it great. He did a great job in 90 minutes. I started to say, I don't know how about the rest of y'all, but I'm ready for the hobby shops to start opening back up. I hate shopping online. I do it, but I hate it. Oh, Riley, we haven't done a thing yet because we just got out of On Track Tuesday, and oh, James, I know James. I ordered a lot. I ordered a lot when the stimulus check helped. One thing I am trying to do is I am trying to stick to products made in North America, though, is as much as possible. I have been, yeah, I hope he does too. He did a great job. I've For the past few years, I have had a soldering iron that I just could not get a good solder joint with, and I just started thinking it was me. And I found a guy who had some on eBay, had some new old stock of Weller soldering irons, and I ordered one from him, and I found out it wasn't me. It was because I got that solder iron and started using it. It was like, oh, this is how soldering is supposed to go. Just I'm not using Chinese junk anymore. Just not gonna do it. I'm ranting again, I know, but it's not. I'm not gonna do the Chinese garbage anymore. Hold on a second. I forgot to turn on the light in my room. Oh, what'd you get, Wilmer? Yeah, James, I have a soldering gun, a Weller one, and it it's I got it when I was 16, so that was 1970. No, I must have been 15. So it was about 78 when I got it. 1978, and my soldering gun is still working perfectly fine. But I needed a soldering iron just for more detail work, like when I'm doing installing decoders and things like that. Yeah, I was lucky enough to find this one on eBay, and it's new old stock, so basically it was brand new, and it just worked beautifully. So I was real happy with it. I had to put in. I just got another Jeep 7, and I was just putting a decoder in it the other day. So it was, and it was a joy doing it rather than a pain. So, yep, you're right, Art. Uh, well, it was 4150. It was a KCS unit, but I'm having to renumber it because I already have one that's 4150. So it's being renumbered to 4153. So yeah, James, I had one, and one day I just threw it in the trash. I was just so sick of it. Hey, Weber Model Railroad. I could not get a good solder joint with it. No matter how much I tried. So I just said that was enough and threw it in the garbage. Anyway, um, so my F unit, here it is. Of course, I went ahead and I put the door on the back and the frame around the door that has the little MU receptacle in it. I don't know how well you can see that. Uh, this, if you ever do it on a Stewart I made a mistake, which I can't rectify now, so I will let it go. Um, these detail parts that I got were made for Athearn, and the door sill on the Athearns is a little bit wider. So I don't know if you can tell or not. It's hard to tell, but I had the top had to bend out a little bit. So if the door sill had been, if I have this to do again, I will actually put in a piece of plastic, about 50 thousandths of an inch plastic in between uh, the the door sill that's molded on there and the detail part. So yeah, Riley, you're right. There's been a lot of lives. I tell you guys, I I am trying to keep up with all the videos, but it's getting hard. Usually every night there's 20, 30 videos to watch at least. It's getting hard. So. But anyway, so I got the back door and the frame around the back door on. One thing I forgot to mention in my last two videos is this came with dynamic brakes up top, and I had to sand them off and fill them in. So I filled that. Yeah, I don't blame you, Weber. I can't keep up with all of them too. uh, so that's been filled in, the dynamic brakes on top. What else did I do? Oh, I got the other cab walk on because I did this side on the video last week, and got the other one on. So I'm about done with all the detail parts, believe it or not. Before, I mean, there's going to be a few I have to put on after I paint. So Nathan, this is going to be a KCSF unit, and it's number 95. And let me see if I can show it to you. Here, I'm going to take my camera and turn around and point it at my screen. So that's what it's going to look like when I'm done with it. So I got a couple emails last week and I also emailed a couple of my friends asking about these. So this unit was originally an F3, which didn't have these in the side, and what they are, they're air vents, they're air intakes. So in the F7s, of course, you'll notice there's a grill here, and it's a louvered vent on all four of those places. The F3s didn't have them, so I imagine when it got converted to an F7 in the late 50s, that what the shop just cut these out. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you can even tell it, but they're all not exactly the same size. So I imagine somebody just got over there with a welding torch and cut out just about the size that they were supposed to be. So they're covered with a vent, or with chicken wire screen. And you can see the chicken wire grill up here, it's actually kind of a diamond shaped grill, but the ones on these four are smaller. It's a smaller diameter hole. So the four chicken wire screens on these, like I said, are smaller, and I think there's air filters behind them. Nobody can tell me for sure, but I think there are filters behind them. But anyway, then they open into the engine room with it's got a 567 prime mover in it. So, in fact, while I've got this here, I'm going to go back, and this is the same engine, but after it was painted and renumbered just a couple years later after that first picture I showed you. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see the diamond pattern screens. And actually these three are turned this way, and this one's turned up, so it's even got a so being the rivet counter that I am, that's what's going to happen on mine. I'm gonna make sure the screen is turned this way on these and turned up on this one. So you are probably wondering, how can I get a diamond pattern screen that long, that small, right? I'm sure you're wondering that. So let's see, let's see, there's an F7 that was changed from Norfolk Southern into Reading and North. Yeah. Oh, I know. I always like the F units too. There was kind of the first generation diesels. I think they're nice looking. So believe it or not, I found a website called Mega Hobby. I found a diamond pattern screen that is diamond shaped. So, and this is 0.25 by 4.4 0.25 by 0.4 millimeters. So you can see how tiny the diamond mesh is in it. So I drew it out to scale, and if it was scale, it would be this size. So that's what size it would be if it was real. So you can see you could probably fit your finger into it. So I am going to be lucky enough to use it. I wonder how much that can focus in. It doesn't look like it can focus in that much on. It can a little bit, so you can see the screen a little bit. Sakura, how are you doing? So I found one, and this is about the right scale for what it's supposed to be. I couldn't believe it. So what I have decided to do is I can't put it in the model yet because I'm going to have to paint it first. But I am going to glue it on to a black piece of plastic. This stuff that we use, modelers, styrene plastic thing. I was trying to think of the word and I couldn't. So yes, right. So I think that's the best thing to do, is just glue it onto this plastic, and I'm just going to use some cyanoacrylate to do it. But I've got to spread it real thin because I don't want it filling up the holes. So, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I was thinking about using a paintbrush to spread the glue before I glued this on. And then once I do, I'll cut it and put it behind. If you'll notice on the real engine, it's actually behind it. The problem with this was, look how thick the plastic is. And so what I did is I spent last night, and I might just do it a little bit more too. I spent last night sanding this. You got to be careful sanding this because the way your fingers move in here, it has a tendency to sand out the middle and not the top and the bottom. So that's what I was doing last night. Is I cut all these out. I cut the vents out, and then I've been sanding the side of the plastic so it'll make it thinner up where those vents are cut out. Because I don't, if it's too thick, it won't look right. Like I said, I think I'm going to give it a little bit more here. So I said this is basically the last detail part, and then I'll have to start painting it. I don't know if I can paint on a live stream. I'm going to have to see how well my network reaches out into my shop, into my workshop. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do it out there, or if I'll have to just uh, do a video and then post it. And I'm just using, I think this is 120 grit sandpaper, just because I don't have to worry about seeing scratches, etc. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Art, and I couldn't remember the name of it when I went to Home Depot today. I just knew it was two numbers. No, Nathan, it's long gone. Long gone. All there are photographs to remember it by. But Art, do you remember what that tape was called? Or anybody? Like I said, I just remember it was two numbers. I think I am definitely going to use something else to. Okay, 924. Yeah, it is. I think I'm going to definitely, or it was just one number. It was 924. Okay. I'm definitely not going to use super glue to glue it into the unit because I know it's going to flex a little bit and it's going to expand and contract, and the super glue is just not going to hold real well. Yeah, I went to like I said, I went to Home Depot today and I tried to find it and I couldn't. So I don't know if they just don't carry it or what. I mean, I found a lot of different kinds of tape. Humanity Junction. Oh, okay. Maybe I should have looked in the flooring department instead of with the other tape and glue and stuff. Yeah, I just want to make sure whatever I do, and I might, since I've got a nice big piece of this, I might experiment first with the CA glue, and then if that doesn't work, go and buy some of that tape. Try and find some of that tape. Yep, Loctite. I see that all the time. I just couldn't find that tape that B&H was using. Nope, Robert. My name's Robert, so. That's a good question, Riley. Nathan, how do you put your metal locomotives together? Do you use CA glue or Loctite or solder? Yeah, like I said, you got to be careful when you're sanding the sides in here, because you can sand all the way through, but you got to be careful that you're sanding kind of evenly, because you don't want to sand out of the middle and not get the top and the bottom. Uh, this one's actually sanded pretty thin now. I'm going to see how it looks. Uh, I might have to go a little bit more. So if you can see what that looks like. So you can see I've got some, it's still a little deep in there, deeper than I want it to be. Because I just don't know about, I mean, I could try cutting it as well and then folding it. Um, cutting this oversize, folding in 4 sides. I might try that as an experiment as well. Let's try that. Why not, while I'm just sitting here talking? If I can find, this is so thin I can cut it with scissors. Yep, Loctite's good for metal. So I'm going to cut this just oversized a little bit. Yeah, it's funny I couldn't find any of this at a railroad hobby shop. Like I said, I found it online at a place called Mega Hobby. So that's where I got it from. So what I will do is, you know what? I've got I'm going to use my needle nose pliers, and I'm going to bend it. So I'm going to see how that works. And I guess I'm going to have to guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to cut the corners so I can bend the top and the bottom as well. I think I got it about the right size. Didn't want to cut it too far. Well, this is an experiment anyway, so if it goes awry, then that'll be fine. Now I can bend the bottom. Bend the sides back in. Yeah, I don't know a good way to bend something this small, metal. It's not the best not the easiest thing to do. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this right now. Mm-hmm. In the long run, this may be the best way to go because I don't know how long it would take me to thin that thin that out. Because the plastic, this plastic is about as thick as the sheet metal. It was the actual size sheet metal that was used. So. Yep, that's what sometimes you have to do. I don't care how precise you are when you're doing this kind of stuff. You do have to kind of eyeball it. So Riley, are you asking that of me, or were you asking somebody else that? Oh, so okay, Wilmer. Uh, so what's happened is I moved a few months ago. Thanks, Riley. I moved a few months ago, and I moved into a house, and I still have my other house. So, you know how much fun it is paying two mortgages. So, our house, the other house is under contract, and as soon as it sells, which is supposed to be May 12th, the way it looks now, it'll still be May 12th. As soon as it does, I am having a shed built out in my backyard to house my model railroad, and the shed's going to be 16 by 36. So that will be my new layout. Okay, James, we'll see you. My new layout's going to be 16 by 36. I already have the plan drawn up, so I'm looking forward to it because now I've been about 6 months without a model railroad now, so 5 or 6 months. So it'll be nice to have one again. Yes, I do, humanity. I actually have it. Hold on a second. Since we're talking about it, I've got it sitting right up here. So I wanted to lay out this is I just printed it out not long ago, so this is going to be my new layout. Um, I wanted to be able to do continuous running on it, so I actually have a reverse loop at each end. Believe it or not, that's going to be a wiring nightmare. So, but I have all my industries planned out and everything. As you can see, I have a cement plant here. This is the yard with an engine house. Then it comes around here. That's going to be a town, so I've just got a straight run, over a lake and then through a small town. And then over here, I've got ooh, that's going to be nice. I've got a paper mill with the wood yard tracks down at this end, and then I've got an industry here. And then what it'll do is go around. There's an oil refinery, and then another yard on this side with some industry in it. So that is my layout plan. So yes, I did. So this is a free download, or it was, I don't know about now, but it was a free download from the Atlas website. So you can use I'm not using Atlas track, but it's pretty much the same dimensionally as any other track. So so this is the only way I could get, and this is all the minimum radius on these is going to be 32-inch radius. Yep. So, and the only way I could do that is to have a 16-foot wide space. So, and it's going to be so it's all walk around. I don't have to worry about duck unders or anything like that. So it's 1976, Riley. So I'm doing the bicentennial year, and if you noticed on one of my other videos, I've got a bicentennial engine. Good night, Art. Take care. Yeah, I had to have. I didn't think I could get away with much smaller than 16 feet wide to have an island. Yeah, it is, Wilmer, isn't it? I'm looking forward to getting it. So, like I said, as soon as the papers are signed, I've already got the cement contractors lined up, and I have Tough Shed is going to build the shed. So they build really nice sheds. So I'm looking forward to it. They use triple beams in the corners and things like that. They do a lot of nice things. And plus, the good thing about it is Tough Shed, when they build it, is going to put all the bench work all the way around. So all I have to do is put the bench work on the island in the middle. So it's not a kit. They come out and actually build it for you. So it's nice that they, like I said, that they can they're going to come build it, and they do, and the bench work's going to be all the way around the outside walls. So all I got to do is build the middle island bench work. That's going to be so nice. That's going to put me way ahead. I think what I'm going to have to do with these, unless I can get this sanded really thin, and I don't think I can, is I'm going to have to just cut these just small enough to fit in the openings. And that's what I'm going to have to do. And that's too bad. Because I was hoping not to have to do that, because this is going to be a nightmare trying to get these cut exactly right. Tough Shed, they're all over the U.S. So they probably if there's not a place called, and it's spelled TUFF Shed, if they don't have an outlet there, um, then you can probably get a. I'm sure there's more than one company that does that kind of stuff. So yeah, because these are going to have to be cut to the exact size because they can't be too small that they go small so small that they go through, but they can't be over large. Larger than the holes that are made for them. So it's going to be fun. So I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. So let me see what we can do. And this is going to call for the visor. Uh-huh. Yeah. So I guess, Weber, you're in Pittsburgh, huh? But I'm pretty sure that they've got and you can just do. I think it's just toughshed.com, so they can. Yeah. So actually, I think this is pretty close. If I just, I think if I put the backing behind it, it will actually work. Problem is when you're cutting with scissors, scissors don't cut straight; they cut at an angle because of how they come down. So getting it just right is always fun. I'm gonna have to come up in that area, Wilmer, and we're gonna. I'm gonna have to come up and visit you and visit everybody, and we're just gonna have to run trains. I don't care about. I don't care about the virus. We're just gonna. I'm just gonna come up there. We're gonna run all around the country and rail fan and and run model trains. Yeah. If I could, if I could find somebody, to help me build it, I could probably do it. But I just, there's just really nobody around to help. At least, that could give me that kind of time. So here's, Well, it's funny with this visor, you can actually see. Yeah. There you go, Riley. Where are we going to build it in Kansas? That'll be kind of in the middle of the country. Have the YouTube layout. We could just build a compound and we could all of us move to that area. It would be a little exclusive. And I don't know if y'all know this. Yeah, there you go, humanity, an abandoned aircraft hangar. I don't know if y'all know this, but if your scissors get dull, cut sandpaper with them and it'll sharpen them. So just start with a rough grit and increasingly, make several cuts and increasingly get to a finer and finer grit up until you're about, um, at about 1500 grit, and we'll sharpen them back up again. Just a tip that. Okay, so I think I've got one that's about the right size here. And it is. In fact, it just kind of fits in there. Yeah, there you go. Layout lunchroom, 8 classrooms, can have our own staging. You better believe it. We could build a nice layout like that. I always said I wanted to rent out an abandoned Kmart or something and build a layout. So that is my first one. So as you can see, and once I get the black behind it, it will. I think it'll look pretty good. So you can see that. You can see that behind it. I think that'll work really well. Like and then I don't have to worry about thinning too much. But anyway, I think that's what I'll do is I'll just cut them out to fit, and then put the black styrene, glue that behind it inside. Right? If worse comes to worse, it'll push in there a little far. I don't think it'll be that big a deal. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, could you imagine building a layout in a mall? You could actually probably take an actual Class 1 railroad and build every mile of track. Especially if it's a 2-story mall. That would be one big helix, though. Maybe Sparky would like to build the helix. You're probably right, Wilmer. You kick the bucket before it's finished. That's why I kept, my own layout. I kept thinking. I started out with dreaming of a 24 by 40 building, and then I got to thinking about it, and I said, 24 by 40 would be nice, but I would never finish it. I would never get it done. And if I were to do it in a 24 by 40 building, how many times would somebody actually come over and run trains? Once a year, twice a year, maybe. It just wouldn't be worth it. So that's why I scaled it back and I said, let's find a 16. I'm going to do 16 by 36. I can have everything I want on it. Plenty of industries for switching, a yard at either end, and plus continuous running if I wanted to. So humanity, it's just going to be in my backyard. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do it in the backyard. Yeah. Oh, it would be worth it. Yeah, I know, but I don't think that I could finish a 24 by 40 layout. I honestly don't. I think it would take me 10 years at least. And I really want to get a layout at least mostly finished, 90% there, and have the enjoyment of running trains and doing op sessions, even if it's on my own. So I think, so that's why I think 16 by 36 is a little more realistic for me, you know, uh, and that's going to be plenty big. I mean, I don't, plenty big. Oh, I actually have in my garage. I've got a little workshop, so it's part of the house. It was built when the house was built. This house we're living in now was actually built in '59, and there was a workshop built out in the garage with cabinets and all and shelves. So that's where I've got my workshop. So so that's what I'm going to use as a workshop. So it's and that's where I'm doing all my work now until I get my shed built. That's where I'm doing all working on my rolling stock, putting in my decoders and everything like that. So cool. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's nice. How many houses do you see come built with a workshop in them? That's just, and that's in the original plans too. I've got when the owner, the guy that sold it to me, actually grew up in this house, and he gave me all the original blueprints and everything, and so that was part of it. It was built. It was built to have a workshop. Um, and aside from that, it's got two storage units. It's got one that goes to the outside, where you can put your lawnmower and stuff like that, an enclosed storage unit. And there's another storage unit in the garage as well. So it was pretty good. Studio, when you walk in the layout and back is going to be. I I didn't get that. Maybe autocorrect stepped in and helped you because I don't understand exactly what you're asking, Weber. Uh, yeah, so it's so the shed I'm having built is just going to be outside, and I'm building the back wall of it. Yeah, I'm going to have a computer in the shed because I'm going to be using JMRI. So if nothing else, to create my manifest. So I will have all my cars in there, all my sidings, all my switches, all my industries, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to use it. Not going to use JMRI to control signals or anything. I'm going to do. I'm going to run it like it was run in the '70s. KCS on most of their subdivisions in the '70s were still using timetable and train order. So that's how I'm gonna run it. Um, KCS didn't really start till the late 70s, using a lot of signals and things. So hopefully it, and being that most of the time it's going to be just me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Sparky's doing that or not, but I'm going to use, like I said, I'm going to use JMRI to generate manifest and things like that. So I think that's going to be pretty nice. I'm going to like that because it will auto generate manifest. You tell it uh, how long the sightings are, what cars go to what industries, that kind of thing, and then it'll generate a manifest for you. So that's what I'm going to use. Yeah, probably have internet out there. Hopefully, it just depends on how far the internet reaches. Sometimes I have a hard time with the internet back here in my office, which is just down the hall from where the modem is. So we'll see how the internet works outside. It's gonna be kind of tough. So hopefully I can get something with um maybe I'll have to get a range extender or something so I can have a repeater or something like that that pushes the internet, the signal farther outside. So, well, I am too, Wilmer. I would stay on all night if it were me. I didn't do much detail. This is more of a, I was kind of talking through how I was going to do this stuff, and I'm still not sure. I mean, I want to cut it out. I can cut it out. So, getting it glued in is going to be one thing, or do I want to, do I want to sand some more and get it a little bit thinner and just put it on a backing and glue it in there? I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. I don't have to be so precise when I'm cutting it if I just put it on a backing back there. But trying to get it the exact size of these cutouts is going to be a little difficult. So, not that I couldn't do it, I just don't want to waste a lot of this if I don't have to. So, like I said, I'm surprised that you can't find this at railroad hobby shops, but at least I found it online, and it's perfect for what I need it for. I'm gonna try, like I said, I'm gonna try when I start to paint this. Um, I'm gonna try to do a live stream for that too, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. It's just depends on my internet signal. So that's uh, that's gonna be the big thing. So anyway, I'm glad y'all got to see my layout plan, and as soon as hopefully that goes up by the end of May, it'll be completed. I've got the guys scheduled to pour the concrete on the 18th of May. So, and as soon as that's done, it just depends on the city, because you got to get the building permits and all. Um, Unfortunately, so that's the big thing. How fast will the city get me the building permits to do it? That's sometimes they're slow about things like that. But hopefully, um, since it's such a small thing, it's not a house or an industrial complex or something, that it won't take too long. So I've never had to deal with that kind of stuff. No, I haven't, and I've never had to. Actually never had to get building permits for anything before, so I don't. I'm not going to have to do it. Tough Shed is actually going to have to get the building permits. So, and they're going to have to go down there and present the plans and everything. So, and there's standard plans, and they've done stuff like that before. So hopefully it won't take too long. Yeah, it's the government. That's always the government. That's always the problem. Yep. Yep. I've already looked into all of that, the property lines and everything like that. So, yeah, but like I said, Tough Shed does have to get all of the permits. I don't have to worry about that. So, but I have looked into the property lines, how far it has to be. So it just has to be 10 feet. So that's no big deal, really. And what I'm going to do is, hey, Black Mountain Station showed up. How you doing? What I'm actually going to do is the back wall of the shed is going to be, I'm taking down part of my fence, and the back wall of the shed is going to be part of what the fence line was. So that'll, I don't have, they've got to take the fence down anyway to get the concrete truck in here to pour the concrete. So I figured, well, I'll just make it easy and not have to put all the fence back up. Yeah, red tape. It's always the red tape. So, like I said, hopefully, since it's such a small project, it won't take them too long to approve it and everything. So, a power line adapter. Never done that. Does that work for cable modem? I'll have to look into that because I haven't used the power cable as an Ethernet. Just have to power. Hmm. I will have to look into that. Like I said, right now I have trouble even just down the hall with my signal. So I haven't had as much trouble since they came out and they did some repairs. So uh, before I was actually losing the signal, just every 20 or 30 minutes the whole signal would drop, but I haven't had that problem anymore. So it was it was good. They came out and found that the cable, the length of cable that ran to my house was, for the length that it was, the cable was too small, so they had to put a bigger cable. I guess too much resistance, running it that far. So they fixed that. Plus, they had found out that the connections outside, on their pole, not to my house, but actually on their pole, had gotten waterlogged. So they came out and fixed those two things, and I haven't lost signal anymore. Plus, the signal's a lot. It's a lot faster than it was. A lot faster. So, hmm. Yeah, really cable modem's the only thing available here. So, I mean, the phone company is going to start running 5G next year. So we'll see what happens. All right. Well, I think I'm about done for the evening. So I know there's not many of you in here, and you're probably all subscribed to each other, but go ahead and promote your channels. I don't have a moderator, so I just have to do it do it all on my own. Everybody that's in here though has been pretty good about stuff like that. So uh, I don't know. Are you? Is anybody? I'm sub to you, so I don't. Some people you can see, and some people you can't. So some people have theirs set to private, and you can see who's sub to you, and some people you can't see who's sub to you. So I don't know. And I hope I'm subbed to everybody in here. I think I am, but I do miss people, and I'll go back and look. If I'm not, I will definitely sub to your channel. It gets it gets to where it's hard to keep up, and some people I know I'm sub to, and then all of a sudden I find out I'm not. So I'm wondering if YouTube's doing something weird too. I know YouTube's being really strange lately, and 567, Wilmer. And you know that's great when you don't have ads. YouTube doesn't promote your channels. So hopefully we can just support each other as much as we can. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check into it. Like I said, I've just even had a hard time down the hallway here in my office. So um, so hopefully, wow, Weber, you're up there too. Yeah, I know YouTube's kind of strange. It started out as something free, and then it turned into something it shouldn't have turned into. I wish there was another place we could go. But yeah, I'm the same way, Wilmer. As long as there's good people and they enjoy my videos, that's really all I can ask for. I'm not going to make any money off of this, believe me. Power line adapter, I'll do that. In fact, I'm going to write that down. So thanks, Black Mountain. I will Google that. So thank you everybody for joining me. I know we didn't get a lot done, but we got a lot of good talking done, which is the most important part of model railroad, right? Yeah, can't wait to see y'all next time wherever that is. I hope we can get Strasburg back going again at some point. If not in the fall, maybe Sparky will set it up next spring. But I'm looking forward to that. Or any other place y'all can think of. Anybody that's down south here with me. I'm in Texas, so East Texas. So anybody this way, let me know. You had your boots on, Wilmer? Okay. I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody, and sure thing, humanity. I enjoyed it. Always enjoy you guys. So, um, y'all have a good evening, and we will see you next time. Part four. Oh, before I go, then part four. I'll probably do it next week. Um, so I will put a reminder up if I do, uh, and make sure y'all know about it. All right, take it easy, and we'll see y'all later.